Hello. Yes, commerce pedagogy. But due to COVID, no option for us how to do the online classes instead of offline. But no problem. We will take up commerce education year in this class. Friends, you may be knowing commerce is a branch of business. So before moving on to commerce education, let me take up the commerce first, then the branches of business. Economic activities, you might have heard economic activities. Economic activities are those activities which are done to earn wealth. So earning wealth is very important to do any economic activity. You can divide human activities into two categories. First one is economic activity, the other one is non-economic activity. I will give you some examples. Mom cooks in the kitchen for her husband or children. Then a religious leader will give some, that is a modification of, that is a moral behavior, some speech without getting any return, isn't it? Some NGO, they will indulge in some social service activities like blood donation camp and all these things without getting any return. The other one is a cook works in a restaurant and gets wages for the service given by him. That is economic service, because there is an intention to earn money. Here, on the other hand, a housewife cooks in a kitchen. She will not get any return, non-economic activity. Finding a difference, right? Yes, in one case, the person works for getting money or to increase the wealth. In other case, the person works without any expectation of return. So, totally non-economic or service-oriented activity. So, that is the difference between human, that is economic and non-economic activities. That is two categories of human activity. Under economic activities, there are three major three types are there. That is, first one is business, then second one is profession, and third one is employment. Business, profession, employment. Profession is nothing but simply rendering services to the clients. We call them as clients, not the customers, right? So here they will render services, and in return for a remuneration which is called fees. Like a lawyer's chamber, you will meet a lawyer, you will get legal opinion, and you will pay for that. You will pay the fees. You will visit a doctor's chamber, you will get your body diagnosed or your disease diagnosed, and you will get you will give some fees to the doctor, right? So that is called profession, rendering of expert, special or personal services to the clients in return for a remuneration called fees. Moving on to the other part, it is employment. There will be two people. One is employer and other one is the employee. And employee renders service to the employer in return for a salary or wages. If it is paid on daily basis, it is called wages, and if it is paid on monthly basis, it is called salary. So here there is rendering of service, and the person works as per the instructions of the employer. The person who gives the work is called employer, and the person who is doing the work for the employer is called the employee. and employee is supposed to work as per the directions and guidance of the employer. So these are two economic activities which are not a part of our discussion. Our part of discussion is business. Business is also an economic activity which is concerned with production and distribution of goods and services. And this production part is called industry, that is manufacturing, raising or producing the goods and services, that is called industry. And the other part, that is a distribution aspect, is called commerce. So commerce means exchange, that is a giving solutions to the problems of trade or commerce. That is distribution aspect. Here we produce and here we distribute the goods. Now, coming to what is commerce education then? So to run a business, we need to have some skill, qualification, expert in the field, isn't it? All these things are required. Not only in a production aspect, but also in the distribution aspect, marketing, everything is very, very important in business. Unless the goods are distributed or sold in the market, it is not possible for you to decide how much should be produced. Once you produce the goods, it must be distributed, otherwise your money gets blocked up. Your money will be blocked in inventory or the stock, isn't it? Maybe in the form of raw material or in the form of semi-finished goods or finished goods. So here my point is, what is commerce? Commerce is the distribution of goods. And what is business? Business is production and distribution of goods and services for the purpose of earning profits. Production and distribution of goods and services for the purpose of earning profits. So industry plus commerce is equal to business. Industry plus commerce is equal to business. And while distributing the goods and services, there are many hindrances or hurdles or problems in the distribution of goods. They are called auxiliaries to trade, auxiliaries to trade, AUXILIARIES, auxiliaries to trade, or aids to trade, aids to trade. That is, they help in the distribution, smooth distribution of goods. Aids to trade means the solutions to the problems of trade. Trade means simply buying and selling of goods for value. Buying and selling of goods for value is called trade. Commerce is the entire distribution system. Trade is a part of commerce. Trade is a part of commerce, like commerce is a part of business. So the parent is, the root is business. Remember. Clear? Yes. Now, while distributing goods and services, there are some problems I told, like person, place, time, risk, finance, knowledge. These are the problems of trade. That is a person. We can solve this problem. That is you have produced the goods. There are no customers, isn't it, to buy the goods. There is no demand for the goods. Immediate demand is not there. So you have to distribute it to someone else. So through the medium of trade, that is buying and selling of goods and services, it is possible to give a solution for the problem. That is problem of person. So whenever there is an activity called trade, you can buy, you can sell, and there is a particular value for the goods and services, because ancient times, barter system, right? Barter system, exchange of goods for goods. There were many hurdles or problems. That is like you cannot divide an animal. If you want to sell an animal, I want a chalk piece, the other person wants a goat, I have a goat and he has a chalk piece. Simply exchanging, no doubt we can exchange, but what is the value of goat and what is the value of chalk piece? That should be decided. So for that, a cow or goat cannot be divided without losing its value, correct? Can you remove one ear of the goat and exchange with chalk piece? Another day you will remove one, that is eye, isn't it? Is it possible? Not possible. Chalk piece can be cut into number of pieces, no problem. There is no lose of it will not lose its value, correct? So those were the problem, that is a lack of divisibility, difficulty in storing the wealth. Vegetables or fruits, you can store it for a longer period of time, for 1 year, not possible, right? So those were the problems associated with the barter system, the exchange of goods for goods. Lack of divisibility, lack of common measure of value, and difficulty in storing the wealth. All these were the problems associated with the barter system. So the trade system was introduced, and there you can buy or you can sell in the open market. There will be an intermediary called retailer or wholesaler, whatever the name you call, isn't it? So problem of person can be solved with the help of trade. Then place means there are some goods which are not demanded here, which are demanded elsewhere. So what you have to do? You have to transfer the goods from where there is no demand to where there is more demand. Very simple. See, there is no demand for some goods in Bangalore. Shift it to Bangalore. There may be more demand, isn't it? Simply you have to transfer the goods from one place to another place where there is no demand to where there is more demand, and create the demand for the goods. For that, the aid is transportation. By using the transportation media, you can, that is different modes of transport are there, like road transport. In that you will find that is land transport, under that road and railway, then water and air, isn't it? There are different modes of transport. You can shift the goods from one place to another place. Risk is inherent in the business, that is it is a common factor in the business. You cannot avoid the risk altogether. You can minimize the risk by taking out insurance policies or covering the insurance, isn't it? So that can be done. Then risk, you can shift it to insurance company, that is a solution. Then finance, you need finance to start your business or to run your business or to expand your business, correct? So much of money is required to run the business. For that, what you can do is you can approach banks and other financial institutions, right? They will provide loan to you. You can use that money and you can run your business. So that is the finance. The solution is banks and other financial institutions. Then knowledge. Last one is knowledge. Knowledge you can get from advertising. Different means of communication nowadays, it is very easy. Put one message in the WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever the name you call. It spreads like anything throughout the world. Forget about India or Mangalore, isn't it? So knowledge can be spread through the advertising media, different advertising media, painted display, window display. Nowadays there is a digital marketing is there, isn't it? It's possible to spread the knowledge. So for knowledge, advertising or other communication medias are the solutions. So these solutions are called aids to trade. The solution given for the problems of, that is problems of the trade or distribution is called aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade. Clear now? Yes. Let us move on now. What is commerce education then? Commerce education. Remember friends, commerce education is not like other education. You need not, there are two definitions given by, that is one is Lomax, I think. Leverett Leon is there, one definition, small definition is there. Then yes, Lomax. Commercial education is fundamentally a program of economic, isn't it? Then education, economic education, that has to be with the acquirement then conservation and spending of wealth. So this is the given definition given by Lomax, Professor Lomax. So actually commerce education does not mean that you will join for BCom or BBM or whatever the name you call, commerce stream. You will attend the classes, isn't it, within four walls, isn't it? But it is the education which is acquired not only inside the class but also outside the class or anywhere to improve the level of knowledge regarding business. So any education you are receiving, any knowledge you are getting, or any information you are getting, not only within the classrooms but also outside the classrooms, and also during different situations or while working in the business, all these are coming under the banner of commerce education. So commerce education does not mean that a person has to go to institution. No, he can join a business firm, he can do the service over there, he can get the education. Education means he will learn new skills and techniques. A salesman, he will learn different things from different customers. If thousands of customers visits the shop, then each one will teach a small, that is a tip to will give a small tip to the salesman. Sometimes it happens, especially in case of females. They will go to shop, they will ask the salesman, show me this sari, that sari, the other one sari, the one which is there at the top of the, that is a rake, isn't it? They will make him to remove all the saris, they will open it, and they will see the designs, they will see the border, everything, work, all these things, designs, isn't it? Color. Then what they will do? They will ask, request the salesman that they will check whether it suits them or not. The salesman will show them the door of that is dressing room. One dressing room will be there inside. The lady will go, she will change the dress, she will wear that sari, isn't it? She will stand in front of that mirror and she will see how she looks, whether nice or not. Then she will conclude a deal. She will come out and she may say, yes, this sari I will buy, pack it. She will go to home. After that, the neighbors, isn't it, they will come. She will show, I bought one sari. The neighbors will come, they will see, and they will ask how much you are paid. She may say 8,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. Then the other, there's the neighbors, they may say, by paying that much of amount, you bought this sari. The lady will become psych for the whole night. She will not sleep. Next day morning, when before the shop gets opened, the lady will be in front of the shop, isn't it? By seeing the face of that lady, the salesman gets completely upset. Then she may ask for refund or replacement or whatever the name you call, isn't it? So it is not an easy job to do a sale. To effect a sale, the salesman should be very shrewd. However shrewd he is, but still it is very difficult for him to convert the prospect into a customer. Prospect means anyone who comes to the doorsteps of a shop. Customer means who concludes a deal, correct? So that is what the difference between a prospect and a customer. So the salesman will learn a lot of things here. Even after having enough money, even after having a desire to buy a sari, even after having sufficient collections, even after the shop is a very reputed one, the lady will go out without buying anything. That is a big challenge for a salesman. He has to learn a lot over there, right? So that is what the education is. The salesman got an education. He got an information how to conclude a deal or how to convert a prospect into a customer. So this whatever he learns is also an education, and that also comes under the banner of commerce education. That is what the definition says. So commerce education is all those efforts or activities that are done to get some information or knowledge or to increase the level of knowledge, which will ultimately lead to a higher level knowledge to the person, then it is called a commerce education. Clear the meaning? Yes. Now, what is the need of commerce education? Let me come to this part here. Need of commerce education. Commerce education increases human wants. Human wants. That is, wants of the people will be increased. You might have seen in that is advertisement, isn't it? The kids, especially they will target some ladies, some teenagers, or isn't it like that? They will target. The marketer will target. So when the chips, isn't it? Chips packet is shown in the advertisement, like this much big, maybe 1 kg chips is there inside, isn't it? Maybe 10 to 15 grams chips may be there, and there may be around 4 to 4.5 chips will be there inside, and 90% gas will be there, and 10% chips will be there. When you open this much big packet, when you open it, it will become, and ultimately there will not be much chips as you have expected. The kid gets excited or gets attracted by seeing the size of the package, but after it is opened, the kid will come to know that chips are not there much as expected, right? So those are the tricks. Why, after seeing this advertisement, the want of the kid will increase, right? So this is increasing human wants. The commerce education increases human wants, then increases the standard of living of the people. When sophisticated products are displayed, or good products are available in the market, or fashion goods are available in the market, then people will get attracted towards it, people will use it, and their standard of living will increase, isn't it? Different types of cars, different types of motorcycles, isn't it? When you use the higher range one, then the people will see you in a different way. They will treat you as aristocratic family, right? So that is a common thing. So increases the standard of living of the people, and it links production and consumers. Commerce links the production and consumers. So here, when there is a linkage between production and consumers, because consumers are the ultimate people who decide the production. Gone are the days, that is, whatever you can produce, dump it into the market, it will be sold in the market. No, never. Nowadays, it is very difficult to sell. You have to take the survey, you have to do a sample survey, you have to collect the information from the customers, what they need. If they agree for that, then you go for production. It will be sold in the market. But environment is totally changing, friends. Today you have seen something in the environment, tomorrow it will not be there, you will see a certain change. So it is outside the control of a businessman who is living in that environment. Economic environment, technical environment, legal environment, isn't it? All these are environmental elements. What happens ultimately? The environment will change and we have no control over that. Customer comes, a prospect comes to the doorsteps of a shopkeeper, verifies everything, goes out without buying anything. Can you hold the collar of the customer and say, buy because you have come here? Why did you enter here? Can you say that? No, because consumer has every right to choose the goods, every right to choose the products. So here there is a link between production and consumers. As the commerce education by its own, that is a practice or principle, it helps in the production and it links the consumers. It is very, very important nowadays. Then generates employment opportunities. Employment is required for the people. When the business expands, when commerce education is given to all the people, almost all the people, everyone increases his knowledge in the commerce, then what happens? Ultimately, he will go for a buying decision, he will go for opening a new factory, isn't it? Ultimately, demand for the products will rise and there will be more employment opportunities for the people. increases national income and wealth. When there is the business expands, there will be more income in the form of tax, isn't it? Or in the form of the salary or wages to the people. The income of the people will increase, and ultimately when the income of the people increases, the wealth will increase, and ultimately the national income will increase, isn't it? Then expansion of aids to trade. I told you the facilities that is available which will solve the problems of trade, aids to trade, I told, it will be expanded, like transportation and communication will increase, or storage or warehouses, that is time. One more that is item is, that is a problem of trade is time. Today you are producing the goods, it may not be sold in the market for the next maybe 3 to 4 months. Now take the case of raincoats and umbrellas. It will be demanded at the early of that is May and June, latest up to July. After that, do you need raincoats? Do you need umbrella? No. People will not buy after that. There will be demand at the beginning of the season only. Agriculture goods, isn't it? They are also like that. They are seasonally produced but demanded throughout the year. So they should be stored till the demand arises. Like umbrella and raincoat should be stored, should be manufactured and stored to use it throughout the year. And these agriculture products, they are to be stored to meet the demands throughout the year, isn't it? So that is the solution is, that is storage or warehouses for the problem of time. So these are the various needs of commerce education. I will take up the other needs in the next class. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.